Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today I have a 5v5 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxys map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 in the north, ending with Team 2 in the south. Starting off with Team 1's easternmost player in lightest red peak, it is Sassin going first line. He is a Seraphim, and he is a 1600. To his west in Pac-Man Yellow, we have the Aeon player of Camp Kicks 500 going first line. He is in Pac-Man Yellow as a 1700. In Chevy Crimson, continuing on westward, we have Zebra Nord 1-1 going first line. He is a UEF. He is an 1800. And in Snow White, rounding up the front line here for Team 1 is Bear Launch going first line. He is a Cybern. He is in Snow White, and he is a 1500. In the rear guard slot here for Team 1, it is Dimitri 11 going first line. He is a 1900, the highest ranked player on Team 1. And again, he's going first line as an Aeon. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have all of the factions represented with another Aeon on top of that. So 2 Aeon, 1 Seraphim, 1 Cybern, and 1 UEF. Starting off with Team 2's western side of the map, we have in Stitch Blue, the Aeon player of Quiet Storm going first land. He is a 1500 going first land. Going eastward, we have in Barbie Pink, Ryan 103 going first line. He is a UEF, and he is a 1600. In Ruby Red to his east, we have a Zebra Nog. So we have Zebra Nog and Zebra Norg. He's going first line as a Seraphim. He is a 1900 in Ruby Red. And in Tropical Ocean Blue, we have Mike's going first line as a Seraphim, rounding out Team 2's front line. He is a 1400. And in the rear guard air slot here for Team 2 in orange, the color orange, it is a Zeros going first line. He is a Seraphim, and he is a 2100, the highest ranked player on Team 2 and in the game overall. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have 3 Seraphim, 1 Aeon, and 1 UEF, which means Team 2 lacks cyber and technology. Let's take a look at the reclaim here that our players are going to be able to scoop up. For 10 players, we have 27,000 reclaim, which is 2.7k mass per player. And most of it along these edges of the map in the middle, you can see, or along the cliff edges, I should say, of the map. There's a little bit of mass on top of those plateaus, and there is some in the backland for some players to scoop up. But for the most part, it's essentially in the middle of the map where you would assume to find most of the mass in most games. Let's take a look at the mass point lands here. Let's take a look at Team 2 side of the map. We have 1 Quad Mechs and 1 Quad Mechs over here, kind of on either side of Azuros's come. Looks like those are going to actually be grabbed by Ryan for the time being, and he's going to get this one over there. There is a Trimix position here to the west. I wouldn't be surprised if Orion doesn't get that as well, but we could see him give some mixes over to Quiet Storm over there. And besides that, there's not really a lot of like high concentration. Maybe you can call this one the dual mix position, but for the most part, it's going to be a lot of mass fab farms, RAS comms, heavily focused on building up upgrades and all that instead of expansion and going for just massive amounts of T1 mexes and that sort of thing. But also as well, of course, we have to watch out for the fact that there's a lot of just, there's a way to attack this way and this way here in the east, as well as 2 ramps here. We have multiple areas of entry all around the front line here for both teams. So there's going to be a lot of defensive measures that have to be on the front lines. So not only are players going to be very kind of strapped for cash as it would be, they're also going to have to worry about, 6, 7, 8 different entry points, like 1, 2, 3, 4, just 4 on this side, obviously 4 on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then obviously some in the middle. But anyways, let's go ahead and see what our players are starting to fan out. We do see a huge amount of movement up here from Zebranog in the northeast, trying to force Team 1's Sassin back. We do see that Tham and Selen get shot out of the ground here by Zebra. And we do see a tiny little Selen over here getting some nice intel over there, but not really doing a whole lot, just kind of sitting over there. We are seeing as well Team 2's Ryan pushing towards the middle, trying to get past that 50% mark in terms of the horizontal line, trying to force Team 1 back, at least for the time being, to expand their very limited amount of mass points that they have access to. We do see a tiny little striker that could easily go after this T1 Mechs and T1 Engineer. Looks like orders have been given, and look at that, all those movement orders all around doing something around here for that one little striker just to keep it on the move. And Team 1, we do see 2 comms here in the middle, both for Zebra Nord, not Zog, but Nord, and then Camp as well, and Sassine coming in to intercept the comm of Zebra. We do see Quiet Storm moving here on the western side, and Azuros has moved to the middle as well to assist. It's not really surprising a lot of the rear guard airsoft players nowadays, not nowadays, but just in general, move to the middle. Unless you're on like settings or maps like that where it's not really feasible. But for the most part, mostly everybody moves to the center at some point to assist, especially in these high-rated games where one comm could make the difference in securing a kill or just holding off a potential death on their team. But we do see a nice little T1 PD established to force the scene back. He's been able to poke at least a little bit at Zebra as well. But Sassine will be a little bit kind of hamstring with his abilities to force back Zebra, especially with this T1 PD essentially locking out this Trimex position here for him or for Camp. But I'm assuming that was definitely Sassine's since he went over there. Gun speed on the way here for Camp. And as I was told, I think it was a week ago or so, that speed should be the priority if it's not really feasible to essentially, if the comm, let's say for Azuros, were to walk up on Camp, would that make a difference? And speed would make the difference in that engagement because you can fire twice as fast. Versus if Azuros was all the way back here, range would be better because you could move essentially to where Azuros is and be able to try to lock him out of the middle. So it's mainly just situational, and there is no like you have to do speed or you have to do range first, but it's more of take stock of what's going on the map and then be like, oh, okay, I'm going to go for this one or this one. And that speed upgrade does finish off. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Camp at least pushing a little bit against Azuros. The hit point differential is only 500, so really not anything to worry about. We do see a nice little run-by opportunity here for Team 2's Mechs to just push on this eastern edge. There's a couple of units trying to intercept, but T1 Mechs are going to go down. He actually could push in a little bit and go after this T2 Mechs as well. And that's actually being ringed by T1 PD to lower the energy cost for that. Very interesting. We don't really see that a lot, so I was also surprised by that. Usually it's just mass storages surrounding Mexes, but sometimes there's some factories and the like, but not really PGens. That probably has to do with the fact that there's not a hydrocarbon, so we're trying to reduce the energy cost as much as possible. We do see a nice little engineer just going for a line of T1 PGens just to increase that power generation. But if those units are going to be going that way, I don't really think that's going to be worth it. They're going to go after the T1 Mexes over here to try to slow down Camp. And Camp has actually pushed the Zeros back. He's dropped almost into the red. Zebra is going to come in and try to assist with his T1 PD to deal with this incoming threat of Camp. And we do have a nice little fervor that's eliminated this T1 PD. And so Team 2 is also being pushed back here on this eastern side. And right now there's a huge push outbound here from Team 1. Both units from Zebra Nord and, of course, the comm of Camp moving in to take this position. And then probably will go east to try to isolate both the comms of Azuros and Zebra Nog on that middle east side. But Mike's is holding strong over here. He could easily push in, but he does have some artillery he has to deal with, so probably should move his units at some point. And there's a nice, it's a nice run by kind of happening here for Zebra Nord as well, trying to push into Team 2's territory. He's doing a very good job of here, and there are some blazes to assist that push as well. Team 1 counterattacking very well in the middle. The western side kind of just hanging out for the most part, not really focused on raiding and all of that, kind of more focused on going for mechs upgrades and production upgrades and all of that. Gun speeding range on the way here for Zebra Nog here, holding this position, and we do see those units trying to assist efforts of holding back Team 1's push, but there are T2 Mechs now under threat. Blaze is going to rip through both of those very, very quickly. I like how they split off, one for this one, one for this one. They could deal with more Team 2's Mechs a lot quicker. I do love that. Also, of course, the downside of that is it takes longer to kill one off, but if you have a lot of time to play with, you can easily do this. That's 6, 12, 18 mass income here for Zebranog, and he's on an upgrade right now. He needs all the mass he can get. He doesn't want to cancel, and he's being artillery shot by this Fervor right here. And I love how this T1 PD is trying desperately to kill that engineer off, and Camp just kind of just sitting here, kind of just hanging out. He's going to push forward a little bit, and Zebranog is going to just sit there and finish that upgrade. He's going to drop, again, like I said, into the yellow. And there are some bombers over top to try to just force Zebranog to cancel. He's not going to cancel. He's going to just keep the upgrade. But he's going to just take the hit point loss, and it's not going to feel good. It does look like some of those units outbound here from Zebra Nord have been eliminated, but the Blazes are still here for Team 1's camp, and they're getting some engineer kills here, but looks like they have been dealt with for the time being. And Zebra Nord has been... again, going for that upgrade, does finish it off. Unfortunately, I don't know if he'll do enough damage, which he won't, to Campscom to kill him off as a murder-suicide situation. And there he goes. Zebranog is the first player on in the game to be killed off on on Team 2 at 10 minutes. And thankfully, not thankfully, but Zebranog, I was confusing both of them, so at least for the time being, I don't have to confuse myself, or I hit myself with confusion about the two Zebras in this game. We now see a lot of momentum shift going on here for Team 1. Team 2 has to retreat or at least intercept this huge column of Team 1 units outbound here from Sassine. We do see, of course, some Blazes coming in. Azuro's trying to hold them off. He doesn't have any upgrades on board that commander. He isn't even at 1-star veterancy, so really struggling to deal with, again, those multiple entry points are really hurting Team 2 right now. Especially because there could be there's been a lot of raiding, a lot of annoyance, a lot of more APM being diverted to, was dealing with this. More Blazes getting into the back line here for now Azuros' base. And it's really eating away at his eco. Team 2 is still ahead, to be fair, and that's, it would be a lot farther on if it wasn't for Team 1's raiding. So good on Team 1 for trying to, again, force the issue. But the downside of that, of course, is with all this focus on raiding, Team 1 is down in mechs. Team 2 has a lot more T2 mechs on the cards. And these units are, they're not weak. 1,000 of anything can kill anything. But now that there's T2, main units online here, these Ilshis for Azuros, it's not really feasible to do a lot of T1 pushes. I feel like these units could be better off used to just defend the front line or something, just to hold off Team 2. But they're going to try to push in, not do realistically any damage, feed Azuros some veterancy, and call it a day. Here you see a nice firebase online here for Ryan in the middle, forcing Team 1 to essentially avoid him the entire time. I would love to try to see him grab this position up here and essentially try to mimic what's going on up there, or down there, up there, but I don't think that's really going to happen right now. And you can see the PD are now online in Azuros' base, and they're doing very well in holding off this T1 spam, as well, of course, the T2.5 Ilshis of Azuros. Shield on the way here for Campy. Has the range upgrade now, so he's trying to be a little bit more tanky to survive. Drop inbound here from Team 1's Zebra Nord. That, of course, does get spotted. Almost drops right on top of Ryan's commander. Ryan going to try to move and intercept, and that transport going to continue to just go. Drops off 3 of those Titans. They move pretty quickly, very good for raiding, but there are some PD online in Azuros' backline over here, and there's already some bombers going after those Titans as well. And there are some PD being built to try to thwart this incoming threat from the Titans. Titans will be able to take out a couple of Pigeons and a couple of Mexes, but I don't know if they'll be able to do devastating amounts of damage. There is a nice T2 Mex that will be killed off, and this one as well. So maybe at least 1, 2, 3, 4 at a minimum, I feel like, are going to be killed off. More pressure should be being put on Team 2 to go after these Titans. The Titans can get some veterancy, get some more hit points, and be a little bit more annoying to deal with. But it's 2 Mexes so far that these Titans have killed off. Another one that they'll kill off for sure. Another one. This whole position is going to die. There are PD that are being built. They are trying to, again, trying to dissuade those Titans from coming in. So they dissuade, them from moving in fully to this position. The PD trying to do what it can to force off those Titans. And we'll be able to maybe get one of them, but this T2 Mex is going to die. Another PD is going to be built. Bomber over top will not even save that Mex, unfortunately. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 This time they're getting into the back line here for Quiet Storm's Nexus. That's very annoying for him as well. So lots of raiding, and essentially has allowed Team 1 to grab the mass generation lead. But unfortunately, Camp has been forced back by a bunch of Ilshis. Looks like he should be fine, though. He's going to be suffering for a while. And he should be fine, especially with Overcharge at his disposal. He'll lose his shield, but he will be able to deal with the rest of those Ilshis pretty quickly. But again, he'll probably have to retreat and stay home for the time being, just because of the lack of hit points now on board that commander. We have some gunships outbound. Those Voltu's going after the last of the Titans. Another Mechs will get killed off. And this is, I mean, devastating for Team 2's eco, especially for Ryan and Quiet Storm. But unfortunately for Team 1, the two players they went after are players that have very well-established front lines. So they're going to feel the pain, of course, as anybody would, but it's not going to deter Team 2's defenses. Over here in the east, it's a little bit of a different scenario where there's still defenses, there's still units, but it's not as well established, and taking on a lot of their eco would mean you could easily push with a bunch more units, and it would take longer for Team 2 to build up to counter you. Unfortunately, I mean, yeah, you killed off, like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Mexes, but I don't know if that will last as long as probably Team 1 thinks it will. And they're, like I said, they're in the lead for now, but Team 2 is only about 100 mass income, and they're starting to, you know, nip at their heels right now. And Team 2 is now being fully on the defensive, and they've been on the defensive for a while. Team 1 trying to play that aggressive play. Can't really do that the entire time, because eventually Team 2 builds up a wall and says, okay, you can't cross the wall. And then Team 1 tries and goes, okay, that's a bunch of mass we can pick up now, because Team 1 dropped it at Team 2's doorstep. So you have to switch up your tactics at some point. And that play outbound from the transport was great. I mean, I'm not going to dissuade people from doing that at all. That was a great play, taking out a ton of mass. I just feel like it would have been a little bit better served if it was able to go after maybe Azurus' Mexes or even Mike's Mexes. We do see, literally as I speak, though, another drop outbound from Team 1's Zebra Nord after said Mexes. Unfortunately, there are a little bit more defenses online, so it's not going to be as effective. But they'll be able to take out at least a couple of engineers at a minimum. But there's now an Autumn as well, and that's not really going to bode well for that Titan at all. And there's one Titan left. They're going to get one more Mechs, and that's going to be it for that Titan. Titan will be able to regen and shield just enough to save off it a couple of seconds of death, but doesn't really matter at this point. It is done and dusted. So 2, 3 Mexes here for Team 1. Maybe 4 or 5 if you count these ones. I don't know how far back they were dropped, but like I said, the more Team 1 aggressively, tries to fight Team 2, the more defenses Team 2 will build up, and the less effective those subsequent attacks will be. I saw a missile launch? No, that's an artillery. Okay, it looked like a missile outbound here for Zebra Nord's position. And we see in the west a bunch of mobile missile launchers trying to force back Team 2's Quiet Storm. Everybody's essentially in the T3 stages at this point. Both teams have T3 air. They've had it for a while. And we see any interesting early plays before 20 minutes. Team 1 just going for a nice little air grid here, outbound from Dimitri. Both the Eastern players of both Camp and Sassine building up some units, as well as, of course, going for their Mexes. Zebra Nord essentially doing the same thing, as well as Bear Launch. So very quiet on the Western Front for the most part. A lot of the action has occurred on the Eastern side of things. And I don't see any plays to go for any massive production lines for Team 2's air grid as of right now for Azuros. Looks like, of course, he's focused on land as well, so he has to play both land and air right now, whereas Dimitri only has to play air. A little bit more focused, a little bit more, fine-tuned versus Azuros is kind of like jack of all trades kind of play, which, he's a 2100. He can handle. He did. Out of anybody in this game, I feel like he'd be able to handle it the most, which he's doing a really good job, especially with him pushing in with a bunch of Othams, forcing back Sassine. He's going for an advanced regen aura right now, and that is a good effort to go for. Unfortunately, he doesn't really have a lot of units to really benefit from this. I feel like the regular one would be fine. Going for Nano would probably be a lot better for him personally, in terms of his comm. T2 Mexers are going to be ripped to shreds by the Othams. There is no AA in this mix. Definitely a missed opportunity here from Azuros to at least protect those, especially with T1 bombers now on station. But they're going to go into the main base here for Team 1's camp. Camp, not going to like that. But he's going to continue forward while these units keep... Okay, excuse me, there is a flak in there. Okay. I just didn't see the one. And he was primaried by all of those bombers, unfortunately. Now we have some Spectre guns. The Spectres are pretty good. I feel like... Personally, I like the design of the both of the best. But I feel like Spectres are really good. The air-to-ground weaponry is obviously a lot better than the Restorer, in my opinion, in terms of bang for your buck. But, you know, it still gets the job done, of course. But now Titans come in, and that push didn't really get as much as probably Azuros really wanted to, but it does, of course, open a big hole for something else to come in after that. Nano Repair is done here for Mike's in the east. Mike's is at T2, Nano, and Gun currently here for Team 2's easternmost player, and Azuros right next to him is T2 and Gun. They, of course, are being very fire-basey right now, and Ryan has been fire-basey for a while. He's kind of just hung out in his base. Not really going after Zebra Nord, kind of leaving him alone. Like I said, Western Front's been very much more hands-off, and the Eastern side's very, very much been more hands-on. We do see a long run-by attempt once again here by Mike's. Essentially what he did very earlier on in the game. Now he's doing it with Ilshis, going after, well, PD and T3 Mechs, but a lot of those units have already been killed off on their way there. Otham has also died here. And unfortunately, T3 Mechs could not be grabbed. There's just been a lot of bomber spam outbound from Sassine to deal with other threats that have been happening. So, not really that effective, unfortunately. Probably should have diverted a little bit westward and gone after these Mexes here. I know he wants to go for the back one, take out the T3, but it's just the distance and all that makes it very difficult to get to them before most of those units are already killed off. Large group of units up on here from Bear Launch in the west. I don't know where he's going with them. There's a lot of missiles in the mix as well. And maybe he's trying to provoke a response from Quietstorm. Quietstorm has gun, advanced range, and speed on board. So very, very aggressive comm here from the Aeon player of Quietstorm. He just needs the heavy shield, and he will be the tankiest he can be. Looks like that's T3 artillery. Yeah, there's some Serenities online. Bricks in the mist as well versus some Harbingers. Definitely will side with the Bricks, especially there. Quietstorm getting some nice veterancy out of this. Almost at 3 stars. Just due to killing up all of those mobile missile launchers and the like. And all those units outbound here from Barrel Launch will be forced back due to the fact that Harbingers are essentially being thrown to force all these units back, just playing the suicide play. I mean, if it works, it works, and it definitely worked here for Team 2's Quietstorm. Gave him a nice little bit of breathing room and was able to take out a lot of those mobile missile launchers that were just annoying him. A very great play out from Team 2's Quietstorm in the west, and Team 1's Bear Launch has to a little bit lick his wounds and come up with a different strategy. I saw GC marked by somebody here. Yep, there it is. It's outbound here from camp. Team 1 at 1.5 KMAS, Team 2 at 1.2 KMAS. And Team 1 is really starting to pull away with it at this turn in the game in terms of mass generation. And overall, Team 1 has 5 players left. Team 2 has 4 players left, with Azuros being the recipient of the base from Zebra Nog. It's about 50% control of the map, a little bit back and forth for the most part, but it's essentially stay at about 50-50 for pretty much most of the map. But let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win the game. If, of course, you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe. And, of course, if you haven't done so already, please share this video with anyone, everyone, and especially your pets. I'm so very grateful for all of the support. Thank you so very much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. And I did notice something. I don't know. It only happened for a few people that I noticed, but there were some comments that were put into review that I don't have any restrictions on my comments, so I don't know why that would be there. But I was just randomly making sure I went through all my comments. And I found a few that were held for review, so I've released those, but some of those are a couple weeks old, so they're not super recent. But if you felt like I didn't respond to your comment at all, because usually I do a really good job of responding to everybody at some point, please go ahead and leave a comment. I do apologize. I didn't even know YouTube was doing that, automatically. So I will make sure that I kind of review that more often. So again, thank you for your patience, and thank you so much for watching and commenting as always. Quietstorm is being pushed back by those bricks, and does look like Barrel Launch is going to come in with his stealth and gun comm. At this stage in the game, stealth isn't super important. There are some deceivers next to him. But, you know, Team 2, they know a unit's there, so it's not really that much of a, oh, I'm trying to be stealthy kind of thing. And that comm of Team 1's Bear launch is now in range of the Aeon Sniper Commander of Quiet Storm. Quiet Storm going to definitely enjoy that. Going to go after the brick as well. Almost kill that one off. He's at 5-star Ventressing, 14,000 mass kill. Bear launch acting as a bullet sponge for his brick. Unfortunately, wasn't able to save it in time. That GC is online here for Team 1's camp, pushing southward. And Team 2 does have a chicken coming online here pretty shortly out from Azuros. And this aggregate being a nice implump. Oh, looks like you control K Shield or something, whatever. Oh, that was a Team 1 land facility, I bet. Lots of build up here in the north. A lot of mass FAF forms going on the way here for Dimitri. Dimitri at 700 mass income. And that's without a dual base. That is just by himself. But he does benefit a lot from the backline mechs here. He got one of those quad mech positions. And no, he didn't get the other one from over there. He got a little bit more than Azuros. As we're trying to zoom out, kind of see. Yeah, a little bit more here from Team 1 side of the map versus Team 2. Azuros got a little bit less than Dimitri, and that does translate a little bit with Azuros, about 100 mass under what Dimitri is producing. Maybe we'll see a Paragon this game. I haven't seen a Paragon in ages. It would be awesome to see one of those. We do see that Colossus leading the charge of a bunch of Percys. Love to see that. Love to see Percys intermixed with every faction's front line, because they are the best, and no one will be able to deter me from that. Nice bombing run outbound here from Team 2, trying to, you know, at least take out some of those hit points. Now we see some Othans moving in here as well from Team 2. All of those under the control of Ryan, being able to hold off Team 1 for the time being. He's under control of a lot of these units, while the Zeros manages all the air, and like I do love that split of responsibilities in that. Colossus does get defeated. Percy's holding the line here, and that just goes to show you, even if you're outnumbered, you know, Bricks, Percy's, Othans, whatever the case may be on the other side, if you have enough Percy's, you can take out that GC. Team 1's going to have to heavily invest in this position to reclaim that GC. There are no engineers nearby. We could go for the Harbinger reclaim, but they're more focused on dealing with the threats from Team 2's main T3 units. There are some units here for Sassine as well to be able to assist with, but not engaging at the time being isn't great, especially because there's a chicken online for Azuros that we saw building a couple of minutes ago, and that those units are strafing a little bit too far forward. Thought they could get a nice little upper hand on Team 2, but did not go well. And now that Fat Boy is online as well, coming into range, Team 1 will definitely not be able to grab that GC, and this is just reclaim here for Team 2 to funnel into other projects. And maybe we'll see a Mavor or something being built by Ryan. He's being, again, very closed off in the sense that like he's not engaging or like being the aggressor. He's being very defensive. He's waiting for his opponent to engage. So he's, again, very much waiting for that. So I would not be surprised to possibly see him maybe go for artillery or even, you know, Novax or something in that realm. A couple of BDs still online here attacking that chicken. I don't know what it is, but I feel like the chicken in orange, the color orange on a sand map, looks very, very clean. I don't know what it is. It just looks very, very good in terms of just the way it looks and all of that. And now there's a counter Fat Boy online for camp as well. And another GC outbound from Zebra Nord. See, I didn't, even though Zebra Nog has been defeated, still did it. It's because it doesn't help that they share the same, you know, Zebra, and then it's N-O. So they share almost the exact same name. Not helpful. Not helpful, guys. We do see a huge momentum shift out here from the west. Team 2's Quiet Storm has just said, you know, I've been waiting too long. I've been a little bit quiet. I'm just going to push forward. He got a GC and is now shoved to Team 1's Bear launch back. He has a Crab online, forcing the GC back. I feel like the GC could have just engaged, but he doesn't want to dump the mass on Team 1's doorstep. So very interesting play from him. And this is more of a raiding tactic more than anything else. And it does, of course, allow him enough time to go in and do some damage and retreat. Fat Boy v Fat Boy and Chicken versus a Colossus. So if both teams were to engage at point-blank range, Team 1 would win that fight. But right now, both teams are, again, they have to secure this mass for their side of the map. But Team 2 obviously already on it, and Team 1 is definitely not being able to get some engineers to scoop up any mass, unfortunately for them. And already some has been scooped up, but let's take a look. 33,000 mass on screen, so definitely worth going after, especially with reclaim values sitting at, less than 100,000 for both teams at 27 minutes. So not really a huge amount of reclaim has been scooped up, but this will definitely side with Team 2, especially with Team 2 being a little bit behind in mass generation. This will definitely assist in helping them catch up with Team 1's overall mass generated/collected at 1.55 million mass. Donut online here for Dimitri. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't know if Dimitri has air. I mean, he has air. I just don't know if he has air control. 170. Yeah, okay, a little bit. Azuros is only at 134 while Dimitri's at 170. And maybe that's worth it. I don't know. Team 2's Azuros would definitely just suicide all of his ASF into that donut to kill it off and then give Team 1 air dominance. But I just don't know if that's really the play. I feel like more ASFs are required, so maybe that's why it's paused right now, and then he'll continue it. But that Fat Boy here from Team 1's doing a very good job in forcing Team 2 back. Unfortunately here for Team 1, there are 3 chickens, each under the control of a different player. We have Mechs, Ryan, and Azuros all have a chicken. Now everyone gets a chicken in this game. And we even see the comm of Sassine having to be forced back. He, of course, has nano, regen, and the gun upgrade. But unfortunately, he gets underneath the shield cover just at the last second. But it doesn't matter. 3 chickens are able to wipe out that comm of Team 1 Sassine. And almost at 30 minutes, Team 1 suffers the first player loss. One of those chickens has been killed off by Team 1, but again, going for that kill is definitely worth it. Such Russian game to Sassine. Don't know what that means or what that's in reference to, but hopefully somebody in the comment section will let me know what that's in reference to. There hasn't been a lot of communication between the teams, which usually indicates that they're in comms, which obviously I prefer. Oh, it even said, I think earlier on it said something about it being a Russian game or something. I thought I saw something. But anyway. Don't know what that means or that's in reference to. Anyway, Team 1 pushing forward with 2 GCs as well. Now that they see that those 2 chickens or 3 chickens are occupied, it does give Team 1 a little bit of room to breathe. But there are 2 Fat Boys being pushed back. One of them does get killed off by the GC with the assistance of said Fat Boy. And Chicken on the edge trying to go after the Fat Boy, takes its shield off but just could not get the kill before it was killed off. And that other GC really wants that Fat Boy dead and will get it killed off. But now both these GCs are in Team 2's territory. And there's a decent amount of Harbingers over here just receiving T2 PD fire. Yeah, they're a good thing. Nurse and Percy's, of course, online. PD being targeted, artillery as well being built. That looked very weird. I don't know. It looked like the bomber was grabbed there for a second, but it wasn't. Huge amounts of efforts to build more and more units are on the cards here for Team 2. Gunships coming online as well. Team 1 could come in with their air. There's not that many gunships to really worry about. But Team 2, Ryan's position is just suffering now here in the 30-minute stage of the game. Team 2 needs to counterattack immediately. Chicken is in the yellow. It's not going to be finished soon. T3 land headquarters has been eliminated. And we have some Othams diverting over here. A 3rd GC online, and there is a chicken. So Team 2 does have some sort of experimental defense. And that chicken got all the way over here and didn't really take out a whole lot. And now chicken production is in full swing here for Dimitri on that eastern side. And with 3 GCs and a Fat Boy here, Team 2 is going to be strapped for cash here pretty shortly as their frontline bases are being eradicated. And their Fat Boys have been annihilated. But on the western side here, Team 2's Quiet Storm has really just shoved Team 1 back, essentially eliminating Bear Launch from the game. I say essentially because he doesn't have anything left besides his comm. And that's it for him. He's going to be done for a while. Maybe he'll go for a telemeasure play, but it's not really going to work out here for the time being for him. Chicken going to run in the face of that GC, bonk it a little bit. The first GC has been killed off. Ion Storm will be in the middle of both these. Great placement here from Azura. It's going to get maximum damage from that Ion Storm. And going to be able to kill off at least one of these GCs and severely damage the third one. So this is huge here for Team 2. That Chicken played a huge amount of work in dealing with those GCs. And there's now a new one online as well, so that will kill off that one as well. Colossus pushing forward, going after the Fat Boy here for Team 1. Zebra Nord. See, almost did it there. And now going to go after the second one. Should target the shields, not the shields. Should target the P-gens, to be fair. Get a nice little AoE explosion. I don't... Oh, there it goes. I was wondering what was going on, but it's because the shield was barely encapsulating that Fat Boy. Target the P-gens. There it goes. One. This mass Fat will explode. Kill off a lot of those engineers and some of those defenses. But the Reclaim Order gets off at the last second. Second engineer completes that Reclaim Order, prevents the volatile explosion. T3 Mechs now the main target. So this is great here from Team 1. I love the microing here going on from him. It will kill off this Pigeon. Actually, no, won't kill off that Pigeon. And that Colossus will just fall on top of the wreck of said Pigeon, kill off a Percy and kill off a Mass Fab. And all of this, that's got to hurt, but at least in death he still serves. Not the fighter bombers over the top going after that. Fat Boy almost takes off its shield, and now ASF's coming in and just evaporate those Nothas. I was like, oh, that, and they're gone. Didn't even get a chance to really say much anything about that. 32 minutes on the clock, and Team 2 has done a huge job in claiming almost the entire western edge of the map and now forcing itself eastward. Team 1's Dimitri is suffering suffering in the sense that he was at way more than what he has now. Because multiple T3 Mechs have been taken offline. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 of them to be exact. That is a lot of mass to lose. And the secondary... No, this wasn't secondary. It looks like a mass platform as well up there was been taken out. Oh. Oh. Oh, what is this? Ooh, the infinite money glitch has appeared in the game, folks. At 33, on probably 34 minutes will it be completed. The Paragon will be online and infinite resources will be available to Team 1. Does Team 2 notice it? No. Oh, then okay. No, you can see it, and it literally gets pinged as I say something, and that's definitely Team 2 will have to focus on that. But that Paragon has been completed, and now infinite resources are online. The only thing I dislike about that was the shield was not completed first. Just maybe for a Paragon, maybe 2 or 3 of them first, but at least he completed it. The worst thing is if you don't build a shielding, you're very close to finishing off your experimental whatever, and then it just explodes because it got blown up. Definitely hurts. And it does look like Dimitri, because of the fact he has the Paragon online, gives everything over to the eastern side to Zebra Nord, considering his base is now just eviscerated as well. Barrel Launch, of course, is nearby, trying to get back in the game, going for a lot of hives to assist with engineering efforts. And looks like he might get some support from that Paragon, or might just help assist with dealing with that. He's over here to the west, just kind of hanging out, and he's reclaiming at the current moment to just get some mass in his coffers. There's a lot of mass to be grabbed on the map, and in general, 400,000 of it, and you see the huge red numbers, a lot of it in Team 1's side of the map and Team 2's front doorstep. And there's been a lot of Lolan activity here from both teams, especially on the eastern side here. We have Camp. He's pushing forward a little bit, but there's not a lot of pressure to continue to go southward. It's a lot more defensive now here for Team 1. And that's partially due to the fact that, of course, the Paragon's online. Large effort here from Quietstorm to just destroy the Paragon via land. I don't know if that's going to get anywhere. They're walking through a ton of PD. There's a chicken also coming in from Mike's. That, I don't know if that's going to be enough. There's a Colossus also online for Dimitri. I don't think that's going to go anywhere. Tons and tons and tons and tons of engineers are online. I want to know how many T3 engineers he has. 164. Just 164 on screen, because why not? And that push from that GC might be enough. There are 2 GCs now here for Team 1. He'll get probably close to the shielding, but that'll be it. I don't think he'll actually make it to the Paragon. He's trying to avoid that Colossus. Doesn't even make it to the shielding, unfortunately, here. And Team 2 will be stopped in its tracks. The chicken is just being eviscerated by PD, both Team 1 and T2. And right now, Team 1 has, of course, the Paragon. The infinite money glitch is online. Team 2, do you have any counter to that? I see a bunch of... Ooh. Ooh. Interesting. Unfortunately here for Zeros, the Paragon is kind of a soft counter to the YOLO, only due to the fact that Team 1's Dimitri could build a bunch of SMDs and just load them very, 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 very quickly. The only thing that Team 1's Dimitri is lacking are those SMDs, considering the fact that he has one. And, 3 missiles loaded, to be fair, but it's a YOLO. They load very quickly. So, not really. He needs to probably build some SMDs. I don't even know if he knows about the... No, doesn't even... Ooh, that's not great here for Team 1, not knowing about that. That might play into Team 2's favor very, very nicely. Chicken on chicken on chicken warfare going on here in the East here between both teams. Mike's loses all of his chickens, lost 3 of them. Team 1's Zebra Nord has lost 2 of them. Lots of mass to reclaim here for Team 2. That's probably going to go straight to that YOLO. And now with the Salvation online, where is that artillery going? Looks like it's going to go for the air grid, I would assume. And at least the Zeros, he built a T3 shielding. At least something. He built something before he finished off the YOLO. Great, great move. And that's probably due to the fact that the Salvation is online, but still, the shielding was completed. And the Salvation targeting the SMB of all things. I don't see a nuke online, at least at the current moment. So I feel like it's kind of a waste. Not in a waste in the sense of like it's bad to go after SMBs, but I feel like that's bad in the sense of there are so many other targets. Obviously, as the observer, I can see everything. And that Salvation should be targeting that YOLO. And it's actually... Oh, no, it looked like it was paused for a second. But it's going after the air grid now, which is definitely a good choice for that. Could go after the 2 artillery pieces that are almost done here for Quiet Storm. He's getting a ton of assistance from Ryan, though. That is a lot of drones, sir. And over here to the west, the Colossus of Camp kills off Quiet Storm. And that will be a kill here for Team 1, dropping this game to a 3v4 in favor of Team 1. Looks like that air grid has seen better days. Unfortunately here for Azeros, there is a nice little Awasa bomber online as well. But that YOLO is almost done, so, I mean, he does have a lot of ASF in reserve to protect, so he's not really worried about it. Maybe there was an air fight at some point? I don't know. Because Dimitri... No, he's at 260. Okay, no, I don't think there was an air fight. And Azeros is at 244, so pretty comparable. And that Paragon just alive and kicking, hanging out. And that Salvation, second Salvation is online. Team 1 has 2 of them now. And I think they would be targeting the emissaries as we speak. Most likely, probably. Unfortunately, when artilleries get transferred over to somebody else, they reset to their initial... position, so you have to re-aim them, and that takes, I forget how long it takes to re-aim them, so it's a little bit of annoying to deal with. I don't know if that's just a feature of the game or whatever the case may be to make them a little bit more balanced, but I don't really know about that. So do we see the artillery coming in here for Team 1, and that Salvation, well, the Salvations I should say, are ripping through their shielding very, very quickly. I mean, Salvations are designed to take out shielding. It's essentially like a Mavor, but it fires a lot more shells, a lot more quick. They don't do a lot of damage, but again, they're designed to just eat shields. You combine that with a Paragon. You combine that with a Mavor, and good luck. Yeah, it's not going to go well for whoever is going to hide underneath that shield. But the YOLO is done, and is launching its first nuclear missile, and the SMD is dead. It was killed off by the Awasa bomber. Team 1 is going to lose their Paragon that they so, much not deserve, but they built. That is devastating here for Team 1. And we even see the comm of Dimitri moving to leave. You can see that's just definitely unfortunate here for Team 1. They had everything going for them. If they knew about the YOLO being built, or even if it was done, that would have been game here for Team 1. But there it goes. The nuke is inbound. And, of course, as we say on the channel here, kaboom! And, of course, it's a little bit delayed just because the YOLO works. But maybe we'll say it again just to add more emphasis. Kaboom! Takes out the Salvations, takes out the Paragon. And another YOLO missile is outbound. And at 40 minutes on the clock, Team 2 is now the poised one to win the game. It went from Team 1 winning possibly to Team 2 definitely in the driver's seat. And the only thing Team 1 can do at this point is go after that YOLO. There is a Zara online moving southward to support the 4 GC column that is inbound. Team 2 has 4 chickens online, 5 chickens online, 6 chickens online, 7 chickens online. Please tell me there's another one so I can say 8 chickens. No. There are no, well, that one's almost done. Maybe. But the Tsar moves back a little bit. ASF's providing a nice little screening, and here it comes. Chickens versus Colossus. And it's a 4v4. It's a 1v1 mono-e-mono. Lots of ASF sitting over here protecting that high investment, very, very big investment of the YOLO. Colossus focusing on the first chicken. The Donut coming in to assist, but here come the ASFs to just eviscerate that thing, and the Donut going to be annihilated and actually crash land on top of the Colossus. That's going to hurt morale just a little bit. GC's actually turning around, and the ASF fight commences. And at this point, I think Team 1 and Team 2 don't have air grids, so... Well, Team 2 has, like, a little bit, a tiny bit. One. They have one. And there's a lot of AA underneath those ASFs here from Team 1, so that's not going to feel good. And Team 2 definitely wins the air fight in that regard. Secondary attack in the east. Just chicken v chicken warfare and nonsense going on here. 3 more chickens coming into the front line here from Team 1's Zebra Nord. And those chickens are, looks like they're being able to fend off those Colossus a little bit. Colossus looks like it's going to be able to take out the last of the chickens, but there are a lot of options nearby. We'll deal with that GC very, very quickly. But secondary GCs to the west here from Dimitri. Those are the ones he built up for defensive measures for the Paragon. They're going to rip through this position here for Ryan. Another nuke is outbound, and look at the base on this side of the map here for Team 1. Just boom, 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 and oh, excuse me, kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. Sorry, I forgot about those because I'm busy covering other things. But that is another nuke outbound. Team 1 is going to be wiped off the map. Not only is it going to be Team 2 most likely wins at this stage in the game, but there's going to be nothing left of Team 1's presence, not even mass, just some explosions to indicate nukes got launched. Strap bombers over the top trying to slow down these GCs. GCs are slowly encroaching on Team 2's YOLO, and the Zero's building some more air facilities to pump out gunships. T3 Mechs are being focused down. Probably should go after the mass fabs because they provide a nice little AoE explosion to lessen the amount of hit points you have to chew through for those Mechs. P-gens are being targeted as well. GC about to go bow down. 111,000 mass killed, 95,000 mass killed, 4658. We're talking about probably 300,000 mass killed off so far here from these 4 GCs. And I don't know if that was from earlier or not. It could be, but still in general. Up to 126. And Bear Launch has been defeated by Ryan. Looks like he came in to assist, but he was wiped out. He was essentially out of the game for a while, so it's kind of hard to... It's not to say that he didn't play a role, but he was kind of knocked out for a while, so... It was almost like he wasn't there, but he was. GC being targeted by the chicken from behind. That's not going to go well for that GC. But again, 4 GCs. This one, 133,000 mass killed, 100,000 mass killed. These two still working on their veterancy, saying, hey, you should share the load. Let us get some more hit points. And the shields are down. The YOLO has been targeted by the GC for deletion. Chicken was just built. And there goes all of that support due to the AoE explosion from said YOLO. Team 2 loses the YOLO, but even if they lost the YOLO at this point, does that matter is the question, because Team 2 has more infrastructure than Team 1. Team 1's at 600, 700 mass income. Team 2's at 2.1k, and their bases are devastated on this side of the map here for Team 1. There's really not a lot of things that they can do I feel like at this point I'm just going to speed it up to probably 2, just because look at the devastation that YOLO wrought, and Team 1 didn't know about the YOLO, and it really played a role in how effective that YOLO was. And there goes all the GCs killed off, but they did their work though. They killed off a ton of stuff on Team 2 side of the map. Another attack outbound here from the Harbingers going after the AA defenses. Don't know if that's going to do a whole lot. Lots of RAS presets pumping out FAF boys. 45 minutes on the clock in Team 1. And they had a Paragon. They lost it, unfortunately, just due to SMD coverage. Tactical missiles online here for Zebra. Nowhere to trying to... Maybe he'll... I don't know what he'll do with that. I don't know what that'll realistically do, just considering maybe just wants to burn mass. I don't really know. We have some air scouts over top getting a nice readout here for Team 2. And they don't really have anything else to really throw at Team 1 for the time being, so they have a little bit of breathing room. But there are a couple of chickens still. So they have the chickens, but that's realistically about it. Tons and tons of mass. Is there a million mass on the field? There is 1 million mass in Reclaim on the field. Look at that, $1 million. That is, I think it's actually $1 billion, actually. But that is a ton of mass. Both teams at over 300,000 mass scooped up. Team 1 having a little bit more than Team 2. Still, that is a ton of mass to reclaim. No one has to build any mexes anymore. It's just reclaim, 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 and build something. Whether that be artillery, strap bombers, whatever the case may be. Strap bombers over the top going after Camps Com. Drops him into no shielding, but still green. We have some ASFs over top trying to defend from those bombers. He's trying to dodge. Does a little bit of a good job of dodging the main bomb. Takes some AoE to the face, but besides that, is able to at least thwart off a couple of hit points. 4 chickens pushing northward here for Team 2. So 0, sorry, 5. There's one behind it. And that, there's a lot of PD being built. A lot of PD from camp trying to be built to force these chickens away, but it's not going to matter. You need a ton more units. You needed like 2 GCs at a minimum. But with the closeness of all of these PD, just the AoE explosions from the chickens' cannons just eviscerate all those defenses. Didn't really do a whole lot, unfortunately. Well, that was a really weird visual glitch. It, like, when I zoom out a little bit, removes that explosion. Anyway, chickens running around the map here, eviscerating Team 1's remaining infrastructure. And there is a GC almost about to be completed. I think it might be completed in time, but again, 5 chickens, 1 GC. The GC does stand up. And there it goes. Going to be focused by those chickens. This chicken might... no, there's just too much firepower coming off these chickens. He will not kill off any one of them. And at this point in stage, Team 1's Dimitri control case. He sees the writing on the wall. There is a desync, but in this game, doesn't really matter. Another player on Team 1 looked like he control K'd as well. Yeah, Cam control K's. And just leaves Zebra Nord remaining. Teleporter coming online here for Zebra Nord, trying to do something with that Telenuke commander, but I don't know if it's really going to go his way. He actually, I think, cancels the upgrade and just recalls anyway. Team 2 wins the game at 49 minutes. MVP for this match, honestly, I mean, Azuros obviously is a good contender because he's very solid throughout the match. I don't know if he carried his team, but Quiet Storm, honestly, I think Quiet Storm might get an MVP because he held the West very, very well. You know, didn't really attack when he didn't need to. Held the line, kind of attacked a little bit, but once he really just broke through Team 1's defenses for Bear, he just shoved it in Team 1's face and took out a ton of mexes, put Team 1 on the defensive. And then, of course, the YOLO, not the YOLO, but the Awasa came in, took out the SMD, and then took out the Paragon. It would have been a very interesting fight to see how long the Paragon or how long the YOLO would have lasted between, one another. But again, like I said, if Team 1 knew about the YOLO, Team 1 would have won no contest. But because Team 2 was able to keep it hidden, either just from sheer dumb luck or because the fact that they were denying a lot of spy planes or air scouts, or if Team 1 wasn't even running those intel missions anyways, It just goes to show that intel pretty much is the most important thing you can have in this game, because the more you know, the more you can prepare for. So if you haven't done so already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with everyone, especially your pets. Thank you so very much for watching. Let me know down in the comments who you would pick about MVP for this game, because I love to hear your comments. I love to read them, love to respond to them, and I will see all of you in the next one.